So the question that Rabbi Memron asked, really, which came first, the vibrations or the letters? So we're talking about creation here, and we're talking about the Tivuk, but the creation we're talking about refers to Purim. And the secret of Purim really has to do with the secret of creation, and that's the reason why Purim is so important. This is a Tivuk. It's really an explanation. It's a running commentary and a rephrasing sometimes, and greater revelation of secrets that are told to the Holy Rab, by the Holy Rab to the Riyakod, to Chaim Vital. Let's come over here and let's pick up what the Tiv is helping us with. The top part is always the Rav, the Ariya Kodesh, and the light print, which we find down below, is going to belong to the Tiv, where he tries to re-explain it. Now, we had said here, and I made this drawing previously, and maybe I could try it again in a little different format. Let's try this one over here. If this is Zeir Anpin, and we look at Zeir Anpin as a tube, what's the reason for this? Because we have Yud, and I'm going to write the K like this. Okay, it looks like Yud K Vav K. So this is kind of a big Yud. That this letter right here, which is the Vav, is actually in the form of a cylinder. Well, we could think of it like that. It's not really, doesn't have form, because of course Zeir Anpin is not physical. But the idea of Zeir Anpin is that he has a partner. The partner will say that she lives, it's his female aspect. So he is a male aspect and she is a female aspect. So we could go like male and female. And the way that this works in the heavens is that the Shefa that comes into Zeir Anpin spreads to the Nukva like that. Now, that may not be exactly accurate, and so maybe we'll come to more accuracy, but the basic part is that she's his partner and she's on his side. This is his front, this is her front, which makes that the backs, his back and her back, right, are touching. That's the idea. Now, she's not the same height as he is, but he's the partner. Now, she is the partner. Now, as this energy is coming into Zeir Anpin, and we said that it gets transferred over to the Nukva, over here, what happens when Zeir Anpin, in order for them to mate, which ultimately brings the ultimate bracha in the world, which is called Yichud, when they mate, she has to grow up to his full height, and she has to come around to his front so that her front is facing his front. So I'm not sure exactly how to draw that because I'm not sure where she is, but let's go like this. Here is Zeir Anpin. Let's see, we try to get Zeir in here again. Here is Zeir Anpin. And for her to mate with Zeir Anpin, she has to come across on his front. And this is now her front and his front. They face each other. In other words, it's like an idea of hugging, kissing, mating. That's the idea. It's a whole other story. But this is the idea that we want to understand, that the Nukva, we'll call her the Nuk, she has to move to the front instead of where she was over here in the back. She has to grow up to his height. And then she has to be, and then of course this would be Zeir Anpin. That's ultimately where you're going. But for this to happen, the Mochin have to leave Zeir Anpin. Going back to this drawing, they have to go back the other way. And instead of being here, they're going to be coming out. And now the Nukva is dark, because everything that she has, she gets from Zah. Now let's go on and let's see this a little bit more. Let me just pause here for a second to try to find my place again. So we're going to look right here. And the Zohar says, the Rav says, the Hiyoskia Dormita, and that situation where the Mochin leaves Zeir Anpin and return up above him to the Partsufim beyond him that are covered, that are unseeable. Haki, so he says, Dormita Hahi, he Letovasan Shad Yisol, even though now the Nuk is dark, which means that the world is dark. He says, Kadei Shetinasach and the cave in Ma'achre v'yachsu panav, so that she should be surgically, let's say more or less, and in Rosh Hashanah we have a very nice view of how this surgery takes place. V'yigala Yisrael v'yavone Beis HaMikdash, this will ultimately lead to the redemption of the Jewish people and the rebuilding of the Holy Temple. L'chein his yatsu shneichem, so this is the reason why the two of them got together, Achashverosh and his good old buddy Haman. Because at a time like this, when they're God, this is what Haman's view is from the klipos. He's able to reach the klip of Atzilus and be able to see how Atzilus works. And he understands that if you can cut off Zer Anpin, there will be no Shefa into this world. So he said he knows that he's sleeping. Yagdimu, so they should hop around, get in there quick, and kill the people that they hate so much, the Jews. So that not even a little thread of them should remain, that they someday will be fit to be redeemed. Now, for one thing or another, I would say that thread that he was talking about is our remnant, which we are massacred and moved around and made into difficult situations, but we still stay. Then the Beis Hamikdash, the ultimate site of purification, will be built. But notice, so Atzas Haman. So we know Atzas Haman. Min Shamshe Sifron. But no, he had a son who's not mentioned amongst the 10. I think we might see this in the Tib. We'll look at the Tib here a little bit. So he says the things that this son who's called Shamshi, he said, but no, Ksivechem ala Chashverosh, and he had certain different things. He took notes about what's going on between Achashverosh and Haman. Now that's interesting. And he says that Achashverosh over there is called Artchashasa. My best pronunciation. I used to play as Artchashasa, but okay, it's a little different. That was Sefer Ezra. So you see this mentioned in Sefer Ezra. Over there, he's called Artashchata. So he's like Ad Shebitlu Binyan Beit HaMikdash, and their ultimate desire was to nullify the building of the Beis HaMikdash because they knew it's the ultimate glory of the world. And as long as it's not there, somebody else can take its place, like who? Like Haman and Achashverosh. Because they say that the time for rebuilding the building of the Beis HaMikdash is come, and that's sufficient. Then he said, "V'hine ab bizmana dormita." So now, even this time when the mochin are leaving Zer Anpin, ain't in the kevi yeshana, but she's not really sleeping. He said, "Ki oz mistalkim amochin Zer Anpin," because as we had shown the drawing, where the mochin leaves Zer Anpin, and subsequently nothing is shining into the nukva, but here the Rav says that she's still not dark. V'niknasa benukva. That's the way it normally goes. The mochin go into zav, then they go into the mukva. Nukva kedei lihibana v'lisakein partzufet, the builder. The ultimate goal of Zer Anpin is to build a nukva up to such a situation that she could be mate with him, so that she could produce children. This is a concept of family. So that they can come back face to face, which is known by the Inyan of, we've explained about the shofar of Rosh Hashanah, and over there you got a real great detail. So therefore, it's necessary. So if the Jewish people who get there, our shefa comes from Malchus, and if Malchus is not getting any shefa from Zer Anpin, then that means that Malchus has to get her shefa from someplace else. He says Metzidah, from her side, Beinyan Osa Ha'ara, and the idea of this particular shining, this glow that is raining down on Malchus. Hosa Inyan Mordechai HaTzadik is the secret of Mordechai HaTzadik, Kamosh Nivar, Ve'ezes Hashem, and we will explain that in the next shir. This is Baruch Fleischman at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and let's finish up with a little bit Daniel Happenstein with this beautiful piece of xylophone music. Here he comes. So it should be like our prayers, our tefillah, our Torah. Should come up in these vibrations just like this man is doing over here. This is Baruch Fleischman. This is the third shir in the Ri for Purim.